Joan Landis. This lesson is about relational anxiety. Okay, what's that? Relational anxiety is different than anxiety about general issues in your environment or specific problems or triggers that you have. Relational anxiety often comes from core issues, from things that happen in our past, sometimes our very early past. But what can happen is that if something is kind of off in our relationships when we're growing up, then we develop what we call an insecure attachment style. And I hope that you've, if you haven't taken the course on attachment, I hope you do, because this really helps you understand this whole issue, but I'm touching on it now. That if you don't have healthy relationships growing up, we develop an insecure attachment style. Like we don't feel secure in how we attach to that other person for various reasons. Maybe that other person didn't meet our needs in ways that felt right. Maybe it was a new mom. She didn't know what she was doing. I mean, you know, yeah, every mom has their stuff, but if it continues on for months and months and the baby cries and the mom doesn't meet those needs, it can be very, very upsetting to the child. And they have some reactions to it, which are kind of predictable. So if someone isn't meeting your needs, they ignore your needs, then that creates one type of insecure attachment. And then if you reach out to them for help and they actually hurt you, that creates another kind of attachment style. And both of those could be under the umbrella of creating relational anxiety. That's anxiety about relationships. Maybe you don't have any anxiety about spiders. Maybe you don't have any anxiety about public speaking. But whoa, relationships, you're kind of a mess, right? And so how it shows up is that, and there's little different ways it can show up, but that when you're in a relationship, well, actually, one of the ways that it shows up is you're very dismissive. You just don't even need relationships. You know, you're like, I don't need anybody. I'm fine. And so that's what we kind of call dismissive. And so that can show up. But really what's underneath that, you know, what's underneath that behavior of being dismissive or avoidant is that secondary emotion of anxiety, relational anxiety, because you're not sure. Because in the past, when you had a relationship with so-and-so, it did not end well, and you got hurt. And so you're in another relationship, or you think about being in another relationship, and you're like, I don't think so. And so, you know, you don't ever commit, you don't want to engage, you don't want to become emotionally available. There's a lot of different ways that we can be dismissive and avoidant in relationships, right? Another one is just that anxious attachment. So we're just always checking. It's like, do you love me? Do you love me? Are you here? Where are you? You're gone too long. I need you here. Are you looking at anybody else? Oh my gosh, I'm so worried. Maybe this isn't going to work out. You know, it's that kind of anxious attachment style, you know, and so that is another manifestation of just overall relational anxiety. You're just anxious about this darn relationship. So if you find that you're actually quite competent out in the world, but when it comes to relationships, you're just kind of a mess, then you know, I want you to have a little compassion for yourself and realize that most likely if you go back and look in your past, okay, that there has been somebody that you were trying to form a relationship with, most likely your first primary attachments as a kid, but you might have had a really healthy childhood, but then your first primary attachment as a young adult was abusive or neglectful or abandoned you, whatever. That can create it, right? Just really realize that part of the reason you have relational anxiety now is because of something that happened in the past. So what do you do with that? Maybe you've got a really great partner right now, that they're really healthy. And in fact, the really cool thing is that your attachment style is not set in stone. Just because you have a certain attachment style as a toddler doesn't mean you're doomed for the rest of your life to have it. That actually it can be shifted and changed and soothed and healed in a really great attachment as an adult. So, you know, if you're wise enough to be able to choose somebody who is like stable, emotionally available, loving, you know, they're not super reactive. Okay, no one's perfect, but you're pretty good person, right? Everyone has their moments, but for the most part, they're not out to get you, out to abandon you. They're not a sociopath. They're a pretty good person, and they love you. That when you're in that kind of relationship and you test them, because that is kind of another mark of relational anxieties, you'll do kind of some crazy stuff to test their love, right? Is this real? Will they love me when I'm a brat? And if the answer is yes, I still love you when you're a brat. It might be nice if you did something a little different, but my love is there. Then we feel safe in that relationship, don't we? And that provides some of these emotionally corrective experiences where we can heal over time. We can shift that attachment style to become a more secure. It's like, okay, I have trust that they're not going to hurt me, betray me, harm me, abandon me. I can trust in that. Now, if you've had a very traumatic upbringing, you'll always have more of a struggle with that than the average person. Oh well, everyone has struggles with something. Okay, we all have something. Join the human race. But we just want you to be more aware and have a little compassion on yourself. And then if you can kind of share that with your partner and say, okay, now, you know that when I was 12 years old, all this happened. And so just be a little patient with me, because there's going to be moments when I'm really kind of testing your love, and I'm not trying to scare you away, but when I get in my reactive place, it's a little hard for me to think logically and all that with my neocortex. So sometimes if we can just explain to our partner, listen, I love you, I want to make this work, and there will be moments, because there's been some pain in my past, that you are going to trigger me, and I'm going to look at you as this big dangerous person who's going to hurt me, like there was in my past. And what I just need your reassurance, I need your soothing, I might need a little space, okay, if I'm super escalated, a little couples time out, we've talked about that, but I just need you to understand what's going on, the big picture, okay? I'm just healing, and I need you to really just be there in a supportive fashion while I am just kind of cleaning out that wound, right? So that's really, really good. Now, something that you can do for yourself, and I love this technique. Okay, so if you can kind of identify maybe an experience or two or three that were particularly tough on you, that really made you doubt yourself or other people in these relationships, and maybe relationships are dangerous or they're just not going to meet my needs, so why try? That when you do that, when you can identify two or three different events like that, then this is what I'd like you to do. I would like you to identify maybe the one that you kind of, that resonate with you, that you remember, that you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was so tough on me. When Dad walked away from me, I was 11 years old, whatever. So what you do is you see if you can get a photo of yourself at about the age that would have happened, okay? And frame that photo, put it by your bedside, and I want you to, every night, talk to that little person, that younger version of you. You look at that photo, and you kind of let yourself go back to that time and how tough that was and how sad you were. And I want you to imagine yourself caring for that younger you, okay? And that if you need to close your eyes, go ahead and do it. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as your adult you, wrapping that young you up in your arms, kissing them, holding them, reassuring, comforting, and saying, listen, I'm a big, powerful adult now. I'm going to take care of you. I will not let anyone hurt you again. That I'm going to make sure that so-and-so will not hurt you, and I will be there for you. I will meet your needs. I know your sadness. I know your heart. I know your fears. And I know everything about you, and I love you. And you are a wonderful, worthwhile little person. You are the best. I wish I could have been there earlier, but I'm here now. I will take care of you. And you imagine putting that little kid, in bed, tucking him, telling him a little story, singing him a song, kissing him on the forehead, and just stroking their little hands or something until they fall asleep peacefully. And you just do that every night for that little one, that little inner child of your own, to comfort them and help them feel safe. And tell them that there really are good people in the world, that they are going to find somebody who will be there for them and that they can trust and that they can reach out to. And if they can't find someone right now, they can always reach out to that higher power, okay? And that higher power will always be there and they never need to be alone. And so I love this strategy. I love this action item. And I hope you take some time. If you're feeling like you have relational trauma, that this is a really good thing to do. It can be very, very helpful. Again, you're not going to do this unless you've got all your coping mechanisms lined up. You practice your breathing, you practice your guided imagery, you practice your muscle relaxation, all those things, so that if you do get a little triggered, you know where to go and you can calm yourself down. So anyway, this is one of my favorite interventions. I love it so much. And I hope you take some time and do this and just love on that little inner child that was so wounded in the past. And that's a great way to start soothing those core issues. Anyway, nice to see you. I hope to hear from you on the forums. Bye-bye.